Every time we do counseling, first session, this is what I say to the couple. If you are in a room and there are no windows and there are no doors and fire breaks out in that room, what will you do? What will you do? Anybody? You have to put the fire out. But if there are windows and there are doors, what do? Everybody will find their way out. So what happens in marriage is that when you walk into marriage, if you leave the windows and doors open, you will use it. You have to seal every window. You have to tell yourself, now that we've gotten married, there's no way out.
So if I come for a first session of marriage counseling and I hear that kind of advice or analogy, I will be out of that room. Because what are we talking about? Am I the only room that does not have any window and door is a coffin that has been nailed shut, right? So my question is, am I signing up to get married or am I signing up to be unalived? I don't even understand what reasoning that some people that preach on our altars have when they're making some of these kind of analogies. So if you're also saying there's no window or door, we know that what usually triggers a fire is when maybe something inflammable is set off and there is air to drive the flames up. But if I am in a short a room with no window, with no door, with basically no air, where did the fire come from? So it means that somebody inside that room must have intentionally tried to set the place on fire, right? So why should I sit down and stay with somebody that is maybe going gaga? The thing is, the way she's talking about it is as if she's saying that free will and the self-preservation become null and void once you get married. So once you get married, basically, you give up your right to say, I don't like this, or this is not working, I choose to leave. Divorce itself is a choice that we have to make by free will. Self-preservation is a choice, because if things are not working, you have every right to stand up and say, no, this is not okay for me. This is not what God has in store for me, and we walk away. But saying that you close the windows and doors is basically saying stay there until the person unalives you, right? So the truth is this: when both parties know that there are consequences for their actions, everybody will sit up and behave. If a man knows that if he misbehaves or he maltreats his wife in a consistent fashion, she can choose to leave. And even if it's once, she can choose to leave. He will behave. He will be more intentional in the way he treats her. And the same thing for a wife. If a wife knows that if she's not behaving in a way that is gracious and kind to the man can say, this is not working for me, and they leave. But it is this whole idea of once you enter, you have entered. It's almost as if it's a cult and you cannot leave. This kind of idea is what makes women stay there even when they're being unalived. Like one other video I made the other day, a woman said that her husband had put her in coma 3 good times. But basically, this kind of advice is saying stay there, work it out, make it work. Even if you're not breathing, even if it's your last breath, make it work somehow. Even if the other party is not trying, even if they're not interested in trying, make it work. Stay there, you can't go. Excuse me, is it marriage we're talking about again? Or are we talking about slavery? Are we talking about being kidnapped? And I don't know. What are we even talking about here? The truth is this: if they say they're speaking for God, Jesus himself actually gave us a window and door to live a relationship when it is not working. He said if a man or if a spouse commits adultery or is unfaithful, you are free to leave. That's the window, that's the door. And even Apostle Paul himself, he said, it's not good, for a couple to separate, but if you choose to separate, then he said whatever he said. So which means it is a choice. Those are windows and doors that the Bible itself gives us, right? So what are they talking about here? Even Jesus himself, when he heard that, what's his name? John the Baptist his head had been taken off by the king and all that. Bible said he ran into another city far away, because he knew that the next person they're targeting is him. So, but she's saying, this analogy is basically saying, even if you see someone coming with a sharp something to come and take off your head or to hurt you or to harm you, just stay there. You are in a room that does not have a window, that does not have a door. Stay there and work it out. Try to become a negotiator, a hostage negotiator, even though you are the hostage. How can you be negotiating with someone that his head is not okay? Am I saying that once there's any small issue in a relationship, one should leave? That's not what we're talking about here. What I have a problem with is that analogy. That analogy is very faulty. It is very wrong. And it is important that we sit down before we use any analogy. Sit down and think it through and say, what am I trying to teach? Because you might unintentionally be sending people to an early grave. Look at people like Osinachi. She tried to stay. Look at so many people. Every day we hear stories of women being unalive, women's eyes being taken out, women's hands being cut off. So many evil things happening. And it is because women are saying, I will stay. The other woman said, if yet he beats me, though he loves me. What does that mean? It is this same mindset of, I am in this coffin. It does not have any window. It does not have any door. It has been nailed shut and I have to make it work. No, please don't do that to yourself, dear women. I don't even have any other thing to say, but please, please don't take that advice. I'm not advocating that any small thing you leave. If it is something that can be worked out, two adults sit down that have respect for each other and say, hey, we're not doing right. Let's sit down. Where are things going wrong? Work it out. But if you are dealing with someone that is unreasonable, he does not care, he has made up his mind, he's entitled to your labor, he's entitled to your life, he's entitled to your money, he's entitled to everything about you. He's entitled to treating you anyhow and you can do nothing about it because he's a head of fish or a head of chicken. You are not under any obligation. You're not in a cult. Marriage is not in a cult. If it's not working, you are free to leave. Even the Bible itself says that infidelity is one of the signs that it's not working. Violence is one of the signs that it's not working. If it is not working, so many other things, emotional issues, whatever, if it is just not working, work. And if the person is ready to make it work, that's when you can even consider, that's where your free will comes in. Do I even want to make it work or do I want to go? And this is what the Bible teaches. Bible teaches self-preservation. You don't give up your basic instincts. Your adrenaline doesn't stop working because you are married. If you still see someone that comes with a pew to come and hurt you, you're going to run. If you see a snake, you're going to run. Your adrenaline didn't stop working because you got married. God doesn't take it away. And if God allowed it to be there, if God didn't take away your voice and your ability to speak and to see and just become a zombie, if he didn't take away your brain just because you got married, why are you not allowed to use it? Let's use common sense, dear sisters. Let's go back to the word. What does God really say? Does he say we should stay there and suffer?